Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson, the man. Here is Da Man, as we kids say. Jeremy Vine.
Well, we've got questions and answers today on the energy crisis because the
answers we need, certainly.
Well, yeah, Paul Lewis coming in, the legend of Moneybox, which
Fine
is
man.
on a station called Radio 4. Anyway, the 1.3 billion pounds is the amount we currently as a nation owe to our energy suppliers. So that's falling behind on your energy bills in the summer is really unusual. Normally, people would start to get in credit because they're obviously building up a little bit of a buffer against the winter. The fact that we've got 1.3 billion pounds worth of debt suggests people are already struggling with these prices. So Paul Lewis going to join us. A number of things coming up. The standing charge is ongoing, pernicious issue. The
People
fact
don't
that
see what that's about.
No.
Do they? They don't understand what it means, why we have to pay it, and why should we pay
you
it?
can turn off your gas completely, you still have to pay it. And then there's the whole business of prepay meters being more expensive therefore for the poorest paying more per unit. I had an idea today. Can I tell you what it was? Seriously.
No,
It
Jeremy
doesn't
Vine has an idea.
Well, I think you shouldn't be allowed, the energy companies, while we're in this terrible period, should not be allowed to give you a black mark on your credit rating.
Yeah.
They should just not allow, because people are going to be struggling so much. And one thing that is the issue is once you go into debt, then they wreck your credit score.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that any good?
No,
as an idea?
that sounds like a
We
possibility.
don't have ideas very often.
Put it to Paul Lewis.
I
He
will
will
do.
know. He
As
will
an
know.
anonymous, I'll say Ken from
No,
Tame
don't
said, what
don't
about
blame-
this?
Don't blame that one on me.
Okay, we talk about hosepipe ban as well. Gosh, it seems like this country just goes from one crisis to another the last 10 years. So we get out of COVID, now we're in this. Hosepipe ban because of the droughts. Is it time to accept that a hosepipe was a 20th century thing? We don't use them. You know, the hosepipe ban, you know what the exemption's for? Have you heard about this?
What are the exemptions?
People with jacuzzis.
Really?
Yeah. So if you've got a jacuzzi...
Well, that seems
Because
little...
they say, what, are we supposed to fill it with a kettle?
Yes.
And yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes, you are.
I mean, I would have thought the hosepipe for keeping plants and living things going was rather more important than filling a jacuzzi.
Well, that may be the case, but that there are more people with plants than jacuzzis. That's the reason they've allowed this exemption.
What about swimming pools?
Well, there are very few people with them, but I don't know if they're filled with hoses or... they probably are, aren't they?
Well,
though?
water's got to come from something.
Watering can. Well,
Yeah.
You wouldn't let the water out at this time of year, probably, would you, is the answer, if you've got a swimming pool. You're in that lucky... I hadn't even thought of that.
Does a jacuzzi need to have the water changed a lot then?
Well, this ongoing issue
don't know.
of jacuzzis being full of germs, I've never thought that, but there are some people who won't go near them because they say you don't know when the water was last changed.
Don't know where they've been.
Exactly. What about this is another story now, giving up the car? Does it work if you're in a place where you've got some public transport, and we're going to speak to a family in Cardiff? This could work because this is a separate story about just how much you save if you start to use anything but the car, bicycle, e-scooter. I saw somebody drift past me yesterday on the street, and they were on an e-scooter, but it had like a shooting stick on it, so they were sitting very...
Prod people as you go past.
Well...
no?
they were sitting on an e-scooter, basically. So it's like if you really can't be bothered to stand, you can now get them with seats. And
Isn't that a mobility scooter?
No,
then?
I don't think it was. I was looking very, very carefully. I think it was actually some sort of device,
So were you cycling at the time this
I
passed
was
you? Or were you
cycling
walking?
at the time, yes.
Well,
coming
it
up to my
passed you while
bicycle.
you were cycling?
No, I was at red lights. I was stopped
Oh.
at red lights.
And the
Don't-
scooterist wasn't?
Yeah. No, he was crossing...
Oh, I see.
Perpendicular
That's
to me.
all right there.
Do you want the sort of postcode and all
Yeah,
that?
if you
Yeah, he was...
Do three words.
I think he was crossing with traffic, but now I'm thinking about it, maybe he was crossing with pedestrians, which would be interesting.
Grey
but all of
area.
it is to try to stop the situation where you buy an expensive car, you pay expensive insurance, and you spend most of the time driving basically an empty armchair and a free sofa around in a large metal box. And we can't afford it anymore. And then finally... shops and houses which don't have numbers on them. This is more regular. I don't know whether your private property has, it's called Ken's Reclusive Retreat or
Castle.
something. Ken's Castle,
Yeah.
right. Mine is just, it just has a number.
Number.
Yeah.
Don't give the number. No,
I
no.
won't say it, but it's Matthew Paris, the columnist, says he was trying to find a restaurant the other night. He had to retrace his steps 3 times. This may not be the priority on this show.
Yeah.
That's not the worst problem we've heard. Anyway, so he wants all properties to be forced to have numbers.
Okay.
It's like if you're Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss thinking,
That's a major policy decision.
It might not be a day one policy, that.
Well, you never know. Actually, it might be.
It might well be. Email vine@bbc.co.uk. Send us your number with the email, please. Text us, WhatsApp us, and we're on in about half an hour.
Here's Michael Bublé, from a Radio 2 Piano Room session.
Got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. 'Cause you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house. But today I drove through the suburbs crying 'cause you weren't around. You're probably with that blonde guy who always made me down. So much smarter than me, he's everything I'm insecure about. Yeah, today I drove through the suburbs, 'cause how could I ever love someone else?